Onegaishimasu. One last video today. So I want to talk about Mushin. There are many terms in karate and, Japanese swordsmanship, especially Jigen-Ryu, that was imported into karate if we read karate history. Jigen-Ryu is a very interesting style. I've never practiced it, but there's this, dragonfly kind of technique where they will, apparently it was one of the most kind of effective samurai styles, right? Jigen-Ryu. Anyway, and through introduction of, Kung Fu into Okinawa, remember karate originally meant Chinese hand. That's what karate meant. After Okinawa was part of the Japan prefecture, the kanji was changed to empty hand, which probably did karate quite a lot of good, because in karate, it's not just Chinese. There's a lot of influence from Taiwan. Okinawa had their own tote, which was a bunch of blocks, etc., that we see, in Shinto, for example, all that. And then obviously the introduction of concepts and elements from Jigen-Ryu, right? Japanese swordsmanship. It's all in karate, right? It's all in karate. And it's, in its essence, it can all be practiced actually without weapons. But with weapons, obviously, an extra set of eyes come online, right? So let's talk about Mushin. The concept of Mushin is translated as no mind. And it's another example of what happens when we translate things from Japanese or into English, right? So no mind, what does it mean? When I first was introduced to the concept of Mushin, I think I was maybe 16 or something, practicing Shotokan back then. And I have to admit, I didn't really get it, even though I thought I did, right? I thought no mind meant that turn off your mind and use karate. In order to understand the concept of Mushin, we have to think about, we should think internally about, and you should do that. I would encourage you to do that, about where karate is stored. Where do you think the information that you learn is stored about karate? Do you think that is stored in your head? Do you think that it's stored in your muscle memory? Do you think that is stored in your navel and your subconscious? Where do you think all that information is stored? I don't know if anybody has gone through an experience where an event has already happened and your body has already reacted to it, and then your mind starts to catch up, right? Where was the information, the memory stored in order for that reaction from yourself to take place before the mind and the senses kicked in and the internal dialogue rationalized it and decided to act, right? Before all that happened, sometimes we find that we just react, and we react in the perfect manner, right? Where's all that information stored, and where's that awareness stored? Mushin taps into that a little bit, a lot actually. So in simplistic terms, when I think about Mushin now, I don't think about turning off my mind. Rather the contrary, I think about it as a CPU. In a CPU, let's say you booted up Windows and you look at Task Manager. Let's say you haven't run any programs. You'll look at Task Manager, there's a bunch of stuff running in the background, idle, right? There's a bunch of background tasks that are running. Those set of background tasks can be thought of as internal dialogue that we typically have, right? Such that if I really wanted to run a task, let's say I wanted to run a floating point computation, all those background tasks would be stealing some of my computational power and my memory. So Mushin really means no background tasks. What it means is, in mind, There should be zero internal dialogue. However, when we're practicing karate, our mind is 100% utilized. Means similar to a CPU task which you started, let's say some computation or whatever, which is 100% utilizing the processor. However, another important thing about Mushin is, even though your mind is working 100% with zero internal dialogue, your mind, your CPU, is running very cold. It's not getting hot. So we've got a CPU that's being 100% utilized, but still running very, very cool, as if it were cooled by liquid nitrogen, right? And that is the concept of Mushin. When we're faced with a situation, Mushin, no mind, really, the way I understand it now, after a few more years, is total focus and concentration, utilizing all of the senses, or whatever you've got, all of your being, including your mind, 100% utilization of your mind, but zero internal dialogue, where the mind is almost becoming, it takes a step back, no longer is in control. Your total being is in control, right? The mind is not more important than the rest of your body. Typically, that's the case for us. You know, we have to reason all the time. So Mushin really means no reasoning, no internal dialogue, a quiet mind. But it doesn't mean that the mind is turned off. In fact, rather the contrary. It means full mind with no internal dialogue. A little bit different way of understanding. Hard to explain in words. Anyway. どうもありがとうございました。